into the winners best of threes, or will they be up for elimination? Can the very storied roster of Fnatic come out on top this time? Well, they're on the CT side to kick things off. OG with the utility on Lexi B and Volde, and into the monster control very early on with 4 CTs to meet them. This is going to be a rush straight out of the monster control, and CT trying to hold off on the kill. Jakino only getting a frag back. Him and Brawl on the trading Crims does come through with a flank to a 3 versus 3. That bomb is dropped. It's picked back up. They can make their way into the B plant.
Yeah, do they have the information, though, on the aggressive approach towards short? We saw Fnatic brought a lot of players over towards that B site, 2 players pushing forward into that short water control, and even JW has been able to get into a very big backstab position. Bomb not yet planted here for OG, and it feels like Fnatic are now starting to get their heads on where is the information coming through. We're now starting to see a bit of a backstab coming through from Crims, and OG now starting to clear out heaven. They're kind of thinking to themselves, where are the rest of the players?
They've got to get this kill on Crims here. They've got to try and see if they can isolate him. They might be expecting a wraparound, which is the reason why he's here. But if they want to try and bait in a B bomb plant, they've got to get the kill on him. Flashes over to allow the bomb plant to come through towards B site. In the end, they're going to take the brute force approach, and Golden tries to shut them down alongside JW. Back to the monster, leaving it all on Issa to ace clutching his pistol. He does find his 3rd frag. JW set to drop. Crims is low. Golden's on 94. No kits on either player. Takes him down. Issa's on for a shot, but Crims shuts it back down with a headshot out from heaven. 2 kills to his name, and Fnatic take the pistol.
Oh, what a beautiful retake coming in from Fnatic. They start to move very far forward. It's all down to Izza stuck in that heaven position, who actually does a world of damage. 4 kills for him. Maybe try and see if they can get him on a hero AK, and there it is. Straight away, that investment coming forward for him. Fnatic just getting that retake together, but with the bomb plant coming through, very similar buy as what we saw actually between Mousesports and Renegades with the hero AK set up on Frozen.
This time there's 2 rifles in for OG.
A complete force by now.
A bit more, yeah, a bit more of a forced investment rather this time around as well. Deagle's Mac 10s, Galil's in on the 3rd man, so never mind hero AK, it's fine. I mean, both can still work out, depending on how you place that AK in particular for Issa. And Galil was first thing to take damage though. MBK out from T-Con. I believe that was a HE put there by JW. Either way, it's a star. Not a kill, not a contact, not information going the way of Fnatic, but something to work with going into the frags.
A bit of a peek coming in from Izza, quite aggressive towards that monster position. Just a single flash and a few footsteps draws out one of the incendiaries from the B players. Only 1 left now for Crims. A lot of util getting quite limited here for the city side. OG starting to continue out their default towards the A site, starting to push forward and towards party. Brolin just jiggle peeking with Jakino, already quite aggressive. Bait switch set up, but a big kill comes out from Izza with the AK to find the advantage for the T side.
Brolin trying to lean forward here. Golden trades it back. Fama of Valde does pick him back up to return. So 4 versus 3. OG managing to maintain the trades and keep this together at the man advantage. Got to press forward towards long next up, which is where the main T-side forces have started to make their way into. Valde has recovered that AK, and it's best for him to try and see if they can join these players. They need that firepower here because it's the only one in play for them.
Yeah, you've got to think that if Valde can at least pull some distractions away out from Connector, or maybe even just regroup with his teammates and sort of take the site as a unit, then they're going to be able to overwhelm JW. And rotations coming in. This is good information, especially with the time low. JW needs to hold, though.
Nades on, driving players away. 10 seconds. OG need this bomb plant right now. Brought on by Force now. Especially if that bomb gets dropped on the other side of the boxes. But still, Volte comes in clutch with the AK, making it a 3K. And I told you that AK was going to be everything for OG because they had to get those kills. They would not have had enough time to wrap around the boxes, be as cautious as they should be, and get the bomb plant in at the same time. And as a result, it's an even standing very early on.
We're going to see a force back, obviously, from Fnatic. Double eco status from them. Get those deagles going forward, those hand cannons. And look, it was a decent read, I think, from the city side when you think that they're in a man disadvantage scenario, rotating everyone up towards A. But unfortunately, they just can't hold off for long enough. They denied that bomb from going down, but they still fall in some of those entries. OG now having a pretty heavy presence in Connector, but so is the CT side.
The Eagles up, Fnatic on that force up. USP for JW might be a bit of a problem, but for now it's just that's the positions being rotated back to. They pushed up early on now falling back, mostly on the A site. The short players are still pretty pushed up, and they're going to go for even more map control. They'll know that OG are here in connector. Obviously, the utility being thrown out there means, I mean, there couldn't be anything else. But will they try to regress to this position? Can they catch them off guard? It's still very quiet from OG. They're taking careful steps to this.
Being quite passive on that T side, flash out from the top of connectors. Now going to start to accelerate the push a little bit further. The offensive looking like they want to try and brute force their way in towards the A side. There are a considerable amount of CTs already here. MBK try to entry out with that map 10, see if he can farm up the money. Up close and personal, does get traded for a one-on-one trade. Now back to a 3 versus 3 as Golden's Deagle keeps doing work, but now they've taken the site.
Plan to be secured. Golden, decent effort there. If you got that third frag, then maybe this could have been an opportunity for Fnatic. Still 2 Deagles in play though, Jakino and Brolin. Moving up back towards the backlines over at the dumpster position. Small gap in that smoke for Jakino. Trying to see if anyone's on top of the dumpster position, or the boost position, I should say. No kits for these guys either, no smokes. They've got to isolate these kills. OG can play for time, and that's basically what they're doing here. The long control coming out. Brolin does get Valde though. Now they're on site, making noise, checking corners. Instead of take Brolin back, so no opportunities here left for the Fnatic boys. Decent effort from these two, doing some damage to OG, but not getting away with the round.
Now, one thing we have seen over the course of at least the B stream, Jay, with the best of ones is not maybe a considerable 2 hard hitters, right? Like, I think with that opening one with Big and Movistar Riders, we could pretty much see who the favorite was there. It was sort of the same with Mousesports and Renegades, although that was a bit of a surprise on how close it is. We now go into the final best of one in the upper bracket, round 1, and it's sort of like, okay, you've got 2 teams that have had a lot of history between one another, 2 teams that probably are favorites to move forward into the group stage from the play-ins, Jay, but one of these teams is going to have to go down to the lower bracket. We're just going to have to find out which one it is.
Start on Valde, takes out JW. Picks things up 1-0 here for the T side line. Quick entries towards the short control. MBK dealing with Brolin next. And the Ecos get cleaned up pretty effectively. At least so far. Fnatic having a bit of damage, doing a decent amount towards MBK and Valde, but Golden's aggression will get punished in the end. Only 1 player towards the B side, none towards A. 1 player in connector that could rotate to defend the A side from mid, but as Jakino falls, he's got it all to do. And Crims, well, just got to hold back here. I mean, there's nothing much to this round.
Yeah, a bit of a throwaway one, wasn't it? A very light eco, not much investment in, so they've done, you know, decent damage to the T side. Maybe a little bit disappointed that they haven't converted that damage into kills. OG though, I start to bring that bomb over towards the A site. Crims might be on to see if he can get a bit of a straggle up. And certainly Valde towards the top of connector could be another one to fall considering his low HP. But OG looking to win 3 rounds in a row. A bit of a back and forth affair from the start after Fnatic won that retake on the pistol. And Crims should be hurt. Ooh, knife. Ooh, that could have been a chance actually. I know Fnatic are the team that like the knives.
I mean, this kind of round, why not take the risk, you know? Like, very early doors, basic eco, you're not going to win it, so bonus money would be great, you know? 3-1 to the board of OG, a very early start for this T side. Off on the right foot against Fnatic. M4s and AWPs on the buyback cover the first gun round here on round 5. 2 Galils in for Mantu and Alexi B. They can take this as more of a bonus round, given the money state that they have. They're not upgrading those skills as a result of it. Of course, very confident stuff coming in from OG early on in this one.
Nade stack.
As they get the nades together, they take out Brolin. Also doing damage to Jakino. NBK will fall to Crims, however, so that boost position works well for the CT side.
Yeah, that was a really nice nade stack, even doing further damage onto Jakino. We saw in that 4 versus 4 with that boost up from connector. And Crims now starting to get a little bit involved to at least bring it back. Bit of a slow walk coming out towards the B side, actually. Jakino just playing on the edge of the pillar position. Peek comes through, smokes off towards the left-hand side. No over-aggression comes out just yet, though, from the T's. Ooh, look at this.
Golden leaning up, checking up the underpass control. Are they ready for this? They are.
Oh,
no
get for
way!
It?
Not much at all. Alexi B deals the damage, takes him down. Upgrades his Galil to an M4 as well. Bill's position at the bomb here, they'll know that much at least. AWP on JW sat here towards the A site, watching from long, looking out towards mid control if necessary. It's going to be a long take from OG though, so they might play right into JW's hands. What's he going to see? Caught off, sprayed through, forced back to passive.
Yeah, he's actually forcing quite aggressive, falling away from that long position. Rotate's already started to come up. Now he's getting a lot of information here, starting to clear out Divider in the top of Connector, knowing that there's going to be a mass amount of players coming in from long. The AWP does find a connection, but it's still an advantage up for the T side, and they can plant open for Bank, but they don't know about Takino, who pushes forward, and now JW's in a 1 versus 3. Best bet might just be able to hold on to this AWP and bring it into that next round.
A safe plant as well, evading the wallbangs, and you're right about JW saving. He's going to get chased up by Mansu, who will hear those footsteps. Nice that they can recover one of the AKs that was dropped here by the T-side forces, but left back here towards the B site as the T's go hunting. They've got plenty of money, they can afford to rebuy the AKs and get the upgrades together regardless. One more kill does come through, Issa does drop. But again, OG will not be sweating the damage. It's 4 to the board of the T's, looking for a very confident start here against Fnatic. Just what we want to see out of these guys. A team with a lot of potential, a lot of talent in this roster. Names old and new, as you mentioned. Seems like to prove it against some very established players in the Fnatic side. No buy will be set for the CTs, though, so this round probably will be another throwaway from them. Maybe a half buy to surround the AWP.
Yeah, they can buy up a bit, right? Max round loss bonus, buy down to maybe like 1,500, 2,000, round that marker. And get some Deagles forward. And get some upgraded pistols, a little bit of Kevlar, but just try and see if you can keep that AWP forward into the next. And OG have got off to a really good start here. 4 rounds in a row, looking very convincing. Starting to apply a lot of early pressure. JW going in for a very aggressive approach himself, only landing a leg shot into MBK.
Spray through on Mantu does catch JW. A 5-on-4 situation has been gained as a result of it. OG. Easy isolation on towards one individual. Of course, the big green gun taken straight out of play for Fnatic. The Eagles are still in for the others, though, so don't count out the hand cannons until they do go down. NBK has been tagged to 16, so there's potential to get at least that trade, even if not a headshot.
A decent start, and you can just see that they're anticipating a backstab, knowing that they don't have a lurk over towards that B side. There can be an option that Fnatic start pushing short water or push out for a monster and get a wraparound play, even up from the top of Connector. That's why you can just see OG waiting for at least a bit of a backstab play. It doesn't look like it's quite coming through from Fnatic, though. Not really that information over at the B side that no one's there. Now, MPK did get legged up quite early into the round, so he's certainly tradable, and Alexi B gets dinked to from the 5-7.
Post the Eagle at Golden. Let's see what he can do with this position. Look at the signpost. 2 players combined. Immediately. Still close domes 1, but only 1. Issa trades back him and gets Brolin as well. 4 versus 2. Heavy damage done to the T-side line, though, and Krim still lurking here with the 5-7. If he takes out that bomb planter at the right moment, then that could be a real opportunity. But Issa going to go for the safe plant. Smart call from him. 5-7 taps. NBK shuts him down. Jakino, last player left for the Eagle. Not much to save in this round. I'll have a buyback in the next one regardless, so he'll just wait around for exits. Probably get picked apart by the rifles, but for OG, this should be a 5th in.
Very convincing so far out from OG, and you'd almost expect maybe a bit of a tactical pause to come through at some stage from Fnatic. Get that AWP back in the hands of JW, and certainly get some rounds up on the board. Bit of a slow start from the Swedes. M4's coming out for everyone, and yeah, there's that tactical pause, just trying to slow the game down a little bit. Seeing if they can get further more involved. I mean, one thing that we haven't really seen from them is taking short water control. We saw at least that 1 round on the anti-eco that Jakino was on like almost a bit of a bait and switch play, pushed forward. Maybe try and see if they can have a hyper-aggressive take out from Fountain. The OG have certainly not been quick on their T-side approaches. It's been very slow and methodical for their T-side map control.
Tactical for Fnatic to realign themselves here in round 7. This is an encouraging start for OG. When we last saw these two teams play out against each other on Overpass, we didn't get a chance to see much of their T side because they had so many CT rounds that there wasn't really much of much in the way of just getting those last couple of rounds together. So the fact that they're doing well on T does indicate that CT could also Yeah, very good, confident affair from them. Incendiaries out and over to the monster position from Fnatic, from OG I should say. Wow. 2 players that will push up for Fnatic, of course. Nades on the stack, also going to be evaded by the CT camp so far. Defaults are set towards B side, but they are very quiet.
Another nade stack could be coming through from OG. We saw them find that success the last time they did so. Exi coming in, actually a lot quicker going in towards this B side. Minute 20 on the clock, great opening kill coming out from MBK and Alexi B. And this might just have to be an instant save out from Fnatic. Giacchino even gets caught off on rotation out from Monster. What a round. So much quicker coming through from the international squad. They put themselves in for the BXE. The entries come in straight away. And Fnatic are just down to Crims and JW just to hold on to their weapons.
Yeah, no choice in the matter. I mean, that was absolutely clinical from OG. One of the most perfect executions I've seen in a long time. Alexi B only tagged up to 64 as well, so Fnatic didn't even have much of a chance in terms of getting the frags together. Like, that was just clean. Absolutely clean there from the T's. And poor Giacchino sandwiched between everybody there from OG in the monster position. 6 to the board of the T-side forces. OG will take JW as well on the hunt. They probably hear that smoke coming through towards bathrooms, know that Crims is somewhere in there. I don't think they can get to position in time. Maybe MBK could fire through blind, and he's dead. All 5 players will fall for Fnatic, and more big, confident rounds posted by OG.
Yeah, look, this is just building from here. You can see the odds up on screen for GG bet favouring over towards the OG side, but yeah, you've got to look at Fnatic and sort of been like, right, they've already taken that first tactical pause. We didn't really get to see too much change from it. They just got hit into B really quickly from OG. Now, Izza's having a great game so far. And previously over at that Hellraiser squad. 11-3 for the man. Fnatic going to be on back yet another eco round. One thing we have seen from their ecos is they haven't been able to do too much damage. A couple of picks here or there, never really being able to recover any weapons, and already a great start out from Alexi B to deal with the wide swinging player out from Monster Giacchino.
They close towards the next man. Unfortunately, way too far back over towards the short control, so that HE won't impact Brolland at all. OG leaning up to the mid control for round 8. Very carefully placed defaults, very slow style. I mean, it's worked out well for them, so why not continue to go for it? Especially as Fnatic have Deagle, so you don't want to play fast and loose against them. If they take a headshot, that's going to be a kill that could make a difference. And what would be an eco round for Fnatic if they can make all the difference in the world. 50 seconds, and OG starting to formulate the A hit here, but Fnatic are also starting to counter.
Yeah, they're bringing quite a lot of players over towards the A side, almost taking it as a complete gamble stack and putting everything in towards it, and they could be on for a right read. 35 seconds left on the clock, not a lot of time here for OG to work with. An aggressive control coming out towards long. Contact P coming through from Mantu is going to get a lot of information already, though.
JW falling, 2 players still on site, 3 seconds drop. 1 man remaining. In by Alexi B, you expect up towards the one plant position. Golden does take 2 fights for Deagle actually. No, MBK shuts it back, so again, decent Deagle play to the backlines, but not enough to get a clutch set up or even a clutch in general. So 7-1, OG dominating Fnatic at this stage, and Rifles will be coming back in for the CT side.
I remember too, we saw Fnatic in IEM Katowice last year in 2020 make his semi-final placing where they went down to G2. Certainly circumstances are different now, but they really want to be in that upper bracket going into the next round rather than being forced into the lower bracket with a loss in the best-of-1 context. Remember, this is only the play-ins, not even the main event just yet. And we do the play-ins to find the teams to get into the group stage before even the playoffs. So plenty of action, plenty of days. And for OG, plenty of rounds by the looks of it. 7-1 up on this T side, and well, Fnatic just haven't really been able to find the response they need.
Very dry game from them. OG consistently doing well to rip them apart, but finally Crims comes up with an opening kill on Issa, down in the connector control. Spray back to Gold. Try to do some extra damage to support it. Vole drops, and that's the bomb in CT control. Mantu finds the trade, fortunately, to maintain a 2-for-1, but still need to get that bomb back, and the AUG of Brolin sees him before the smoke blooms, gets that headshot. NBK falls to Giacchino, and while we talked about them not getting the responses in Fnatic, clearly they're listening in. 1 kill for Alexi B, comes back in, Brolin will fall. But Fnatic in a 1v3 scenario, they are so good.
Yeah, lovely round, and it really just comes down to one player in particular of Crim's out from Connector. He's able to get a couple of kills, and it just means that once they've already found those opening couple of advantages, we can now see the AUG from Bo1 starting to get aggressive in towards the Connector peak onto the AWP for Mantu, and Alexipi's just left to try and clutch. Good round to get the Swedes sort of back involved, but they've got to find a little bit more consistency here, Jay. We saw 7 rounds in a row going over to the international squad of OG, and even with a loss there, their economy is not taking a hit at all.
And 7 rounds in a row means your money is pretty decently built up. Into round 10, assuming they sorry, into round 11, assuming they lose round 10. It's Brolin. Utility set to try and back up the AK, pressing forward here for Jakino, sees a swing and a hit, nicely done to isolate Volde and take him down, and realize he's just lurking here towards the B site. So much map control and information gained here by Fnatic, unless Issa can trade them back. If you can get these 2 kills for over-aggressing, that could be an opportunity to strike back here. Try and gain the B site once again for OG.
A difficult angle onto Brolin, but Issa actually wins it. He takes a lot of damage, though, in that engagement, in that fight. Down to just 4 points of health, but that's a really important kill. Knowing that B-site access was there for the CTs on how aggressive the approach was from Brolin. And now OG start to make a bit of a move up towards the A side, but it's a decent read here from the CTs.
M4 moves in and shuts down NBK next. Crims on 19 points of health, but doing a decent amount of damage so far. Again, maintaining the man advantage for Fnatic. And OG's slow style of defaults has left him with 30 seconds and a player on 4 HP to try to go for the execution, especially as that bomb drops. JW gets all the info they need to just work the rest of the round. Can rotate back from Connector, but it has to be hyper quick from OG, and they're not playing quick at all. They're going to go back and save their weapons because they realize that this one is a lost, and Fnatic will have 3 to the CT board.
Oh, really nice round there from JW. We're seeing how proactive he's being with that AWP around that banana position and getting an important kill and dropping that bomb. OG almost sort of fell into the trap a little bit, right? We saw Fnatic rotating 3 players in total up towards that A side to have a strong stack, and as soon as they press forward and they start losing even further numbers, then it just falls out of hand so quickly. A tactical timeout now coming through from OG. We can understand why Fnatic wanted to use one. And now with a couple of rounds in a row going the way of the Swedes, the international squad's going to take attack. Now, they should be all right with the buys, I think, until the end of the half, right? Like, we're getting close to the end, and even if Fnatic keep winning rounds, the loss bonus is going to start getting stronger, especially if we start getting some bomb plants in there as well. They should be pretty set, but at the same point, they don't want to give up this momentum that they were able to build. And trying to chip back in with an 8th round right here would be all that they need.
What's the rebuy coming in? OG, plenty of cash. They can afford the UPs, they can afford the AKs. It's exactly what they'll buy down here into the mid position for Fnatic, and Incendiaries up towards T, trying to try and block them, making their way out. Let's go towards Underpass instead. Issa actually smokes up and makes his way up to the same position. It's Crim's taking a fight against him, he wins it. So now Fnatic looking real good on some of these opening duels. Crim's again tagged low, but he's done his damage. He can fall back and leave it to the rest of his teammates. JW, in particular, is next up to face against OG. 4 players stacked in the connector control, but not going to challenge him or go through this weak door.
So much more of an aggressive approach from Fnatic. They start pushing forward. Crim's wide swings out towards Playground with the utility. A great find onto Izza, and it almost looked like the AWP could do some further damage, but now it's a couple of opening kills going the way of the T side. While Fnatic had everything on their side, it's now just down to Crims to try and defend B, and MBK just pushes through the short smoke. It's all down to Golden and JW to bring this round back in their favor. They have dropped that bomb. Advantage still up for the Ts, and the kills are now starting to come in as Mantu is now in a 1 versus 2.
No bomb plant. They were hunting for the frags, and as you mentioned, 1 on 2 now for the AWP. OG a bit overzealous in this one. The confident execution nowhere to be seen as the AWP JW watches passive. Mantu starts peeking in. Molotov towards position. He focuses fire, lands directly on Golden. 12 HP left for him though. Still needs to fight back, get this bomb control. AWP v AWP. 91 HP versus 12. Mantu susceptible to the pistols perhaps, and leaning in to look out towards the graffiti area. JW looking forward with this USP, knows that the damage has been done. And Mantu got to find the angle, 13 seconds, the bomb on the default plant position. He can go for that plant right now. And JW leans closer to shut him back with the USP. Good shooting from Mantu, but again, in that clutch scenario, a little bit too much work to do.
I think a little bit disappointing there from OG. A great start from Fnatic to get Crimson that 5-on-4, but then they just open up Condor and they get 2 kills incredibly quickly. And you're thinking to yourself, right, with Crims the only defender at B, how quickly he got entried on from MBK, that round's finished. And somehow, rather than just forcing in the bomb plant straight away, they try and take fights onto the rotators between Golden and JW, and a clutch going the way now of the Swedes. OG, probably a round that should have been theirs, but now going the other way. Fnatic now starting to get on a bit of a roll.
Nades up, down from JW. Damage done to Volde to start things off in Monster. Not much here towards the mid control. The team is opting to back up here. Continue to play that slow style, slowly taking map control. They can't try and force a mistake on JW though. Trying to bait him into over-aggress. When OG completely leave that position to that. Flash in from Giacchino allows Brolin to get the kill on Volde, so that's a start.
Yeah, that's a really nice start again from Fnatic, and it really feels like they're starting to find some consistency, at least when it comes to opening kills, right? That's where OG have now started to struggle in these last few rounds. Flash in from short water, wide swing comes out from Brolin. And now just looking like it's going to be a B take. A couple of players up from Grill. Look at this position from Fnatic.
Crossfire locked. Are you ready for the Monster players to make their way out? Catch them both blind though. Taps through, bursts up. MBK and Issa dismantle it. So well placed there from the T side, but Golden can respond here to the site itself. Issa sees one of the backlines. Golden's going to get dealt with towards short by Alexi B, and the smoke will go down. Molotov also set up here to focus on the bomb plant is the new thing for OG. That's what they're going to do because that's what cost them the last gun round here. Kill on Alexi though, found on towards one frag. Issa can trade it and flash on towards short. Swing and a hit. That's perfect from him. 3 kills to get OG the half.
That was such an unorthodox setup coming out from Fnatic. None of those players at Grill were playing anti-flash. All it takes is one flash over the top, and both Brolin and Giacchino are blind as anything. Couple of great starts coming through. And then just some really good trades coming through from Issa. He's having a superb game on the T side. And it almost feels like the rounds that are being won, he's the one that's heavily getting involved. 15-6.
OG benefiting from this again. They had a confident CT side against Fnatic last time they played against Overpass, so to get this first half in on the T side, win it, means an encouraging sign, probably a one-sided result going forward. Crims, however, going to use his veterancy to try and isolate an angle that he could potentially work with against the T side line. Drops down, sees some footsteps. The nades coming close towards him, doing some damage. Does not get the kills, however. He's forced to fall back. It's Giacchino that starts out towards Monster. Again, Valde trying to push out that position, but he's been shut down several times over the course of this map.
Yeah, OG have got to find a different way of finding opening picks and opening exchanges because they're just losing them consistently. And now being really passive. This could be the way back to at least trade off Crims. It depends on how far forward he wants to go. MPK holding that angle for a very, very long time of some over-aggression. Oh, footsteps are starting to be heard. Does anyone check this angle from Crims? No, the Deagle now drops that bomb. It's a 5-on-3 advantage. The thing is, though, no one's there to try and back him up to get the trade. So Mansu connects with the AWP.
Still a 2-for-1 that favors Fnatic, though. These Deagles doing damage and trying to further that with some wallbang attempts down towards connector control. One player's been spotted. That bomb's going to make its way out of T-Con, and they've got to move towards the mid position. That's where OG are going to commit from. Time's a ticking. JW is here on the site. Back up also towards the corner. Smokes down towards Monster. Drop position. Deagle out from Golden. Tapping through. Getting Issa to drop to 7 points of health, but can't capitalize on the kill. Brawler may be able to finish off the job. No, Mantu holds it from the back. Takes it down for JW at long. Going to be the main concern. As he takes a headshot back. Can deny the bomb plant. No. Giacchino does instead.
Oh, he does.
Now Mantu's going to force the issue with the AK. Right up close. Giacchino's done enough. And he takes the kill after time. Huge plays from the new blood as he wins Fnatic a fifth.
Oh, the youngster has a huge round. And look, everything looked really good there from Fnatic. They had a really late lurk from the top of Connector that was actually watched on upon from Mantu, but denying that bomb, knowing how low that time is, ending up with a 3K, holding onto the AK, doing further damage after time onto Valde. And OG going to take another tactical. That was really not a lot of investment there from Fnatic. That was a very light eco, and it gets turned into a round success. My goodness, what a couple of opening finds.
Huge, absolutely huge there from them. Because going into round 14, the money is not 100% there for OG. Again, the crippling after-time kill. Lost bonus is slightly built up. They can kind of go for a half buy here. It's a bit heavy-handed on a couple individuals, but this should be enough to get them back to rifles on round 15. It is an eco for all intents and purposes from OG. Or Pamantu, or the JW, both squads. Fire down, Incendiary's out. Mansu watching, ready to receive his NBK. That gets tagged up by HGs to start things out. Out of T-Con, kill coming through. Passive stuff here, set up by both teams.
Just got the AWP in play, backed up by a couple of upgraded weaponry, but mainly pistols. And you've got to think for OG, like, rather than force buying and getting a buy together in round 14, they're going to set themselves up to end out the half on a bit of a positive note, positive buy. Fnatic, though. What can they find with this one? One thing that I have been very pleased about on this city side is actually some of the reads coming through. We've seen a lot of gamble stacks being run into from OG. JW post up on this long contact with the AWP, and even as a teammate pushing quite far forward of Crims.
Mansu boosted up, does catch JW. That's a start for OG once again. Go rely on the upgrade pistols to go further forward. The double orb setup not going to be great for the execution itself. Flashes in, NBK moves up the divider, sees him play with his back turn. Oh, he misses his shots though. Crims can swing around, finally Roland does fall, but it's a trade! And NBK with a drive-by. Bomb plant can be secured. AWP and Mantu baited into the other side. They can get that kill as NBK continues to fight. 3 kills to his name, making it a quadra. Huge plays to mid, and huge plays of individuals across the entire board.
Oh my goodness, what a round coming out from NBK with the Deagle. The wide swing for Divider on the com player was disgusting, and he continued to frag away on the site. They didn't really have an opportunity of getting that bomb down, considering there was a player out towards Dumpster and Truck, but NBK flies into the site and continues to do damage. What a round now for OG.
Rush out as well, coming in to close out the half. Fnatic forced by NBK, knows he can make this work, but Jakino takes that orb, takes that first frag, close range to the site, can't land those quick scopes as Brolin burns, and Jakino takes bullets straight to the body. It's all left to the Deagles and P250s left from Fnatic here. Don't see one player golden, can't line up the shots, 2 taps both miss, and one player from Graffiti will try bracket them in. They'll be forced to plant towards the B bomb site, but they've got plenty of firepower to deal with them.
They're just waiting to see some of these contact peaks coming in. They know there's a player out towards right side Graffiti. Good shot does come in from Golden. Trying to spam through that smoke, just evades the bomb planter. The bomb eventually goes down, and Golden still connects onto Valde. Now back to a 2 versus 2. They don't know about Alexi B out from the monster lurk, and JW gets caught off towards Graffiti, or does he? 10-5 half for OG. We're going to head to a short break.
Now Safe to say over a year, still it feels like I saw you every day. Tired of hanging around the ones that always need an explanation. I don't need to every day. Explain myself, don't hold it against me if I'm somewhere else. Put all the masks that I had on the shelf. Wish I could stay, but it's bad for my head. Something's coming. I wanna be everything I thought that I can never be. Build me up, piece by piece.
Well, OG are the ones that have come out on top for the most part here in this particular matchup, but Fnatic continue to hold themselves together in a pretty decent line of form. 10-5 is that scoreline here. OG are leading by a small margin. Fnatic, however, looking to catch up.
Yeah, and you've got to think too for OG, right? Like all the stats pulls into their plate going into this second half now into that CT side. And Fnatic need to get off to an absolute flyer of a start. We saw Mousesports having a really deep comeback from 6-12 down against the Renegades in our last game, Jay. Not quite the same sort of margin, but certainly a big deficit of 5 rounds. Play out towards Monster to start it off from Fnatic. Couple of sets of util for Golden and Brolin. An aggressive approach coming through from the CT side as they just peek into Monster with a flashbang, but it's Golden to find the first pick.
Starting off the half, real good for Fnatic. Molotov's in to try and drive him away from the backline position. OG pressed in upon by JW, who now makes his way right across the bridge, gets Issa. Mantu falls to Jakino, and Alexi B and MBK. Last 2 players left here for this CT side. And it looks like Fnatic may well find themselves some confidence going into the second half. A much-needed pistol, as we do know that OG have had some good CT sides on this map in the past. Again, going back to that 16-5 result, it was 11-4 half for OG when they started CT. So Fnatic need to find some momentum.
Yeah, they do, and this could just be the Kickstarter, right? Nice plan towards that B side. Molly comes out towards barrels, and the entries just come in really quickly between Jakino, Golden, and JW. Alexi B and MPK really have no option but just to try and save onto this Kevlar and Kit, go in for a force spy into that next round, probably try and get some deagles and maybe even a scout in play for Mantu. A decent round for Fnatic. No one going down over on that T side, starting to close the gap now to just a 4-round deficit. And I wonder how many Mac 10s we're going to see here. We certainly have seen quite a lot of SMGs coming forward into this second anti-eco kind of round. And JW buying in for an AK, Galil coming forward. Crims is going to buy down to an SMG. And OG can get that force together, so the scout out for Mantu and upgraded pistols for everybody else.
Seen plenty of deagles over the course of the day, and over the course of this match especially. OG and Fnatic have loved the hand cannons. See whether Volde and Alexi B can put it to decent effect. MBK is rocking the 5-7 for this matchup though. Here towards Heaven, behind Alexi. Some Tilly are ready for them to counteract a B play. Very spread out on these defaults here. OG not going for any particular stacks and going to try feel out Fnatic and where they're going to go here. They are also spread out on their defaults, hunting for map control towards long and mid. Default set towards Monster and Underpass.
Yeah, OG not really getting too aggressive at all on their force buy approach. A slow walk can maybe come in towards Monster from Crims, but just quite a widespread default from Fnatic. Not really gaining too much map control early on. The smoke does go down to the Monster position from the city side. And Crims now starting to clear out short water. A fair bit of info coming through, but it's all a lurk play, Jay, over towards the B side. Fnatic now starting to gain some long control, looking to make a play in towards A. Ooh, that's a sound cue.
It's going to have some information towards the likes of Alexi B, but they draw any attention away. I mean, they're putting smokes up to try to stop them from making their way in, so baits in a little bit of utility, but still 3 players to the stack on the B site. No breakaway coming in from OG. Finally, one man does. Scout and Mantu watching from the mid control, backing up to the back corner of the site. Smokes down at Monster. Made up to the position. Is that doing any damage? Or decent enough towards Bo1 and JW, but not a major amount here. It's Issa that takes Crims out on the short control. 2 CT still standing towards the site. I don't think they can deny the bomb plant. Alexi B trying his hand through the smoke, but the bullets don't connect here.
Yeah, really passive from the A players, just allowing that bomb plant to go down, the 4 versus 4. Brawler now starting to move forward into bank, and this is really where the T-Shard should just be able to rip this round apart. OG might even be considering the save, considering how far Izza is away, and yeah, they're out of there. They do not want to go in for this retake. Fnatic dealing with the anti-eco relatively easily. And we saw that scout from Mantu jumping over from APC in default just to try and get some info, but almost gets caught off guard at the wrong position at the wrong time. OG have just got one more player in Valde close towards the site. Trying to see if he can find any more exit damage, but no, not going to happen. Fnatic now 7 on the board going into their T-side half. A much better round from them. And look at their economy state too. Crims was the only one to fall against that 4 spy.
Fnatic off of the T-side start this time. Looking particularly proficient here. As you mentioned, the money building up very early on in this matchup for Fnatic in this half. That's going to be vital to them again. OG had to take decency on the CT side of things, but they are being very careful about how they're going to play this. 3 rounds of difference. It's Crims. I'll take entry here towards the short control. Very carefully positioned from his own right. Scout out for Mantu. Dealt with by Bo1. Simple frag to find. Only rifle of the round taken away from OG. Follows suit against MBK. Will also be found. JW's tagged pretty low, so there could be the chance for that trade, but for the most part, OG kind of suppressed the Fnatic by the firepower.
Yeah, just ripping apart this eco. There's a lot of damage coming through onto quite a lot of the T side. Jackino, Crims, and JW incredibly low, but none of that is actually converted into a kill, at least as of yet. Alexi B now stuck over for the B side. May be able to catch off the monster players falling back, but really shouldn't be too much into this round. And, well, certainly for Fnatic, right, we haven't seen them play too many officials as of late. Last few months, they've only played in both CS Summit and Flashpoint 2, where certainly in Summit, they had a really good run all the way into the grand finals against VP, who at the time were, pushing forward for that 3-tournament winning streak. They've just defeated Whistler Krakow in that opening best of 1 a little bit earlier on, Jay. But Fnatic looking to try and get on the board again. OG, almost a little bit sort of surprising to sort of think about how close the scoreline actually is when this was such a one-sided affair from the get-go. It was, what, a 7-1 scoreline? We then saw a little bit of a resurgence coming in from Fnatic, but OG closing out with a 10-5 half. Very convincing one at that.
As convincing as these first few rounds for Fnatic have looked at. Let's see. Can he catch that exit? No, Crims takes him down. In the end, catching the angle he needs. OG ripped apart. Eco round coming in from them, though, so they can respect the buyback coming through here on the rifles. Orps in for Mantu. M4s across the rest of the CT board. Fnatic gonna hold all 5 weapons in tow, just upgrade the piece of utility they're missing out on. Now try fight against this CT force. No kits in for OG either, so if the retake comes down, this could end up being a bit more awkward for them. That's real quick against Fnatic if necessary. Fortunately, their utility is going to keep the T's at bay. Incendiaries to siphon them off from mid-control. Underpass, there's only 1 player. 4 players in Monster going to look for what seems to be a B play, actually.
Yeah, just to run out by the looks of things. JW and Golden both finding entries. Only 1 kill has returned from this CT side, and Alexi B's got to have a big hold here. His teammates aren't even on rotation. He's got to at least find a couple of kills. Smoke goes down, buy himself a little bit of cover, trying to back off to the water position, but Fnatic keep pushing forward. Flash comes in, and Chiquino overwhelms him. This has got to be an instant save, surely, for the CTs. MPK and Mantu now turn it back to a 2v2, though.
Shot through the smoke on the AWP, nades back to try driving them away from heaven, but 1 player's already dropped out. Mantu providing overwatch for NBK. Keep him blind here. Again, there's no kits in play for OG. They've got to act quick if they want to make this retake work. And NBK is moving up to position. Mantu going to go ahead and join. They're on the bomb, tapping it once, trying to force a T-side player away. In, the kills come through. Crims spraying back on the diffuser. NBK's back on the bomb, though. Tapping up, they're doing the damage, but Mantu comes in with a kill at the right moment, and OG have just enough time to clutch this one together. Last second defuse in, and it's 11-8.
I'm so shocked they actually went for that. That's a 2v4 retake for OG with limited utility and no kits, Jay. a lot of teams would just throw in the towel and just instantly save, but look at the connection that comes through between MPK and that AWP from Mantu, peeking on each other. Just make sure that Crims does not take down the diffuser, because as soon as that diffuser falls, that round's done without a kit in play. OG win one of the most successful retakes I think we've seen all day.
Very nicely done. They get themselves back momentum here, try and shut down Fnatic and stop the round streak working well. Burst through on the M4, the Fama of Issa. Trying to catch off someone that pokes their head through that gap in the squeak door. Orbs to AK is in. There's Valde on Crims, takes him down. Incendiaries from the CT line. They've got that opening kill. And they're now just going to suppress the T's from pressing on. Then the bomb will rotate out towards mid as a result, as the kills coming in towards B shut down all this side of the presence.
A good start coming out for OG. They've already pushed Valde very aggressively. They've got another pick. MPK does fall to Brulin though, so that will at least force a bit of a rotate over from Issa. And Mantu with that AWP hasn't quite seen any more further aggression, any more pressure being applied his way, but Brulin has been able to clear out this divider position and push quite far forward. Fnatic maybe just try and lean in towards the A site play, or maybe go down back towards Connector. If so, they'll have to deal with Valde.
Mantu leaning up. Gets a kill on Brolin with a peek into the right angle. He might have seen another T-side player. Either way, he's backing off the passive. Going to give him a bit of breathing room, then try to shut them down when they peek to that same angle. Incendiary towards Bank. Molotov also going to follow it suit. Smoke back towards Dumpster. Re-smoke towards the cross. And Mantu is going to get given a second opportunity for a second kill. And a bomb being dropped. And JW caught off by Valde. In for the mid control. And that will be 12 for OG. The confidence has returned for the CT side.
All it took Jay was getting into those opening gun rounds, and they're back. A 4-round lead now back in the favor of OG. Starting to farm up. Not a massive amount of money. I mean, when you look at it, 1900 loss bonus, there is a chance for an instant reset. It depends on what Fnatic actually want to bring forward into round 21. They're going force buy in. Very, very late call on this buy. Not quite force buy, a bit more of a half buy approach. They've got a Galil and an AK to work with between Crims and Brulin. So not too much firepower, but if they could do some damage with it, then they could be quite successful. Unfortunately, it's Valde that just swings out from Monster to find that first pick onto Crims.
That's what we call the caster's curse. Crims dealt with immediately, as Dwight says. Let's see if he can do some damage. It was the Galil that dropped, to be fair. So Brolin could still do something here. He's got the AKs pressed up towards this connector control. Evading the spam coming through with the M4 that's also in play out from the banger position. And checking out the bathrooms for him, but sees no CT presence here. There's not much that they can find in the passive mid positions. They've really got to force forward to try to take the fight to OG.
Yeah, maybe just try and brute force their way in towards an A-site take. They've got a little bit of utility here from Golden. Mantu doesn't have the strongest of crossfires in the world from MBK to deal with the bathrooms position. MBK being pushed up quite aggressively towards long. They need to really bring another rotate forward. That could be Valde going up. And look how now passive Mantu's playing out from Bank. They're almost playing a retake setup on A.
Feels like it. Flashes over, Orb in, sees two, takes out the second player in Poland. Does that one individual cross, doesn't matter because MBK out towards long, gets two for his trouble. Giacchino trades it, Mantu can't quite land the shot on him, but backup has arrived. That bomb is in the open, and Valde is going to get his chance to double up and get the 13th for OG. And the slow style of game is just continuing to work out for them so far. Tactical pause for Fnatic, second called in this game, because they realize that OG are 3 from victory, and that will leave Fnatic in the lower bracket.
Yeah, like it has been a slow day in the sense of the T-sides that we've seen, right? The opening best of ones on Inferno, but certainly on Overpass it feels the slowest. It's been very, very slow, very methodical, almost no quick plays. We haven't seen a rush B out from Monster just yet. We did see that one round from OG in the first half that they had like the quicker B-side XE about 120, 125 on the clock. But outside of that, it's been teams running it down to, 30, 40 seconds, sometimes even lower. And for OG, it's just playing into their strengths in this second half. Really passive towards that A side. You can see Mantu delivering with the AWP. Fnatic running out of opportunities, Jay, in this game.
Up to the plate. Incendiaries down, the T side. Mostly focused on the B side once again into the short control as well. They'll look to control from. JW has a flashbang to allow an entry from Crims. He's going to opt against throwing it down for him though. It's still carefully placed and positioned. It's nades up. Lexi B looking for contact.
Ooh.
And Crims takes him out. That's a very good fight to win. The boost player taken down. Now the T start to act and Brolin gets Volde next. One player at Graffiti, forced to fall back in Issa. And a 5-on-3 gain. OG, they're not going to save, I think.
Yeah, like the loss bonus just isn't there. So while there's not a massive amount of cash, when you're in a 3v5, it's not worth it. I mean, one thing that you can kind of think back to is that how they actually went for that 2v4 retake to win the first gun round in the second half, but they realized the safer approach is probably the right angle. Hold on to that AWP, AK, and M4 and bring it forward and force spy around it. Izza's certainly got enough money, him and Mad2, to drop an M4 each over to Valde and Alexi B if they want. And Fnatic, though, it all started with just a superb kill coming out for Crims. Not an easy one to hit out towards a boost position, but it came through so quickly. And from there, that's when we saw Brolin entry out from Monster and just open up the B side.
Ninth as a result for Fnatic. Again, the entries working wonders for this team and getting an opportunity now to try and equalize against OG. Still 4 rounds to get there, obviously. But it's the start of the climb back here. AK's in, no AWPs again for Fnatic. They've been very light on them in this half. OG have theirs on Mad2, who's been stellar with it so far. Nades on, spray, spams, CT players gonna make their way straight up aggressive, get 2 kills for Valde, shuts them out. A fantastic start again from OG as they re-aggress, try again, go against their standard style of slow play, and they get 2 frags untraded.
Jackino, though, is trying to press the fight, is up. Already down in towards Shortwater, had that bait and switch set up between Valde and the Crossfire. 2 players left for the T side. Good flash comes in from Brolin to at least allow JW an entry. This is still very winnable for the T side. There's a little bit of utility between them. Alexi B playing right up towards the top of the grill. And if they wide swing it together, this could be the trade, but no. Alexi B lines it up. It is a 1-for-1, though.
The bomb on the back of Brolin, of course, being seen there by the CT side. The NBK is pressing up aggressive to try to challenge this player as Mad2 watches from mid, expecting a rotation. It's all playing to the right positions. There's only 1 or 2 places he can go from here. And the T-spawn is where he'll wait for the moment. Hoping that someone over-aggresses from OG, hoping he can get some sort of frag back on NBK and try to turn the tie back to his favor.
And he even peeks out from Pillar, peeking in towards Monster. We did have a see both smoke coming through from Manta and MPK, so if he was able to push a little bit further forward, then they could have just used that util to slow him down, but just a peek out, and what a start this was from Valde, just swinging straight dry in towards that short water control, getting a couple of great kills, and setting OG up for this victory, Jay. 14-9, Fnatic just barely holding on this T side. More rounds continue to go the way of the international squad. And you've just got to think for OG, 1 more, and they're on match point.
Tag out damage done to Mansu early again from Fnatic, trying to play that fast short control setup. This time it's not going to be challenged heavily by OG, backing up away from the boost bot position. And he's back over at Graffiti, hoping to catch Mantu for some damage. He's tagged to 46 early on, which is a pretty good start here for Fnatic, but they've got to get Volde. There's that main threat. On short control, tags up. Crim's going to be heard there. They know they've done that damage, and they focus fire as the double peek comes in. Golden can get the kill.
Yeah, they saw him, and that's why they all pinged together. Now going fast in towards the B side. Exi, it's actually Izza on the edge of that smoke, out from Bridge to catch off Golden. Turn him back to a 4 versus 4, and look how quickly the rotate to come back in! Izza somehow connects us to Brolin! What an adjustment coming through!
And now Crims falls to Mantu providing backup. NBK drops in trade, but Fnatic down on man. Kino's tagged so low. Bomb plant going to be attempted past the pillar right in front of Issa. He's not needed. Mantu fires past the smoke, gets JW to fall, and Jakino is left alone to drop to Alexi B. Amazing adjustments from Issa. You highlighted him as having a fantastic game, and I think that's all highlighted there in that shot.
That was ridiculous. The flick out to the barrels player. And from there, Fnatic aren't even able to get a bomb plan in. They are really struggling with the economy state. They're either going to have to scrape a buy together going into round 25. But it really just comes down to OG finding that really important 4v4, bring back the even playing field, and how quickly those players came out to the B side. OG could be one away from moving forward into the next round of the upper bracket, Jay. Fnatic, I don't know how much more they've got left in them.
We've got to find enough fuel in the tank to get them 6 rounds in a row. Fnatic. 2 AKs on this buyback. It's forced investment to try and get something going here. The Eagles in 3 other players. Smokes up flashes on 3 individuals. Entry for Golden. Going to try and see if he can get himself to the position here on the mid control into bathrooms. Mansu could shut him down. There's a long press, indicates a split here from the T's.
This is a very aggressive setup out from MPK, but actually he's falling back. This could be the perfect timing out for the T side if they can swing. Massive off angle coming out from MPK. Hasn't quite heard any of the footsteps, but he's now seeing the utility. They swing out, the entry comes through from Brolin.
Mantu responds with 2 kills to his name. Peeks back in, can't land the flick on Crim. So a 3-on-3 for Issa in mid sees 2. Has Backham involved with a HE, and that might just secure it right there. JW in a 1v3. Alexi B will close it down for a 16-9 win for OG. They're moving on to the best of 3s.